pretty good run, actually. I'm playing the good old Da Vinci horn here with oddly enough, a 7C. This is a Bach Artisan. I mean, I don't know. I like all the modern stuff too, but I'm really a big fan of a lot of this classic. Like, I don't know, that just looks like something Miles Davis would play from back in the Dizzy. So I really like this, but strangely enough, I'm a little shocked that a 7C, it feels so comfortable because, I mean, you kind of, I don't know, maybe these are all misnomers. What do I know, right? I always was taught that a 7C was, the absolute beginner mouthpiece to start with. I don't really know why, but that's what everyone started with when I was a kid. And then as you progressed, there was this notion that you got bigger and bigger and bigger cups as you got better. But I don't know if that was true or what. I have no idea where that progression comes from, other than that's what my teacher and my band director explained to me. But it doesn't mean that really at this point it's correct or that it matters. I guess it comes down to what is most comfortable for you and what equipment works. Now, unfortunately, I have probably, I don't know, 150 mouthpieces at this point, and they're all over the place in terms of size. So while I can play them all, you're really supposed to kind of stick to something that, works with the same, I don't know. I guess your embouchure is your embouchure, right? Well, I'm kind of rambling here. I don't really know how to explain that other than I don't know what I'm talking about. and I don't know if it's worth even talking about it, if there's this much thought that needs to go into this. It's just a matter of, pick it up. Whatever works for you, works for you. Who cares why, right? I keep finding myself on this journey to try to figure out the perfect mouthpiece. It's so funny. It's just like tone on a guitar, and you just kind of get obsessed with these things. And in the end, the majority of the tone when you're playing guitar comes out of your fingers, not your guitar. So I could pick up a guitar and you could pick up the same exact guitar. I could literally hand it to you and it's going to sound totally different to a degree. Same with a horn. I could, sit here and play this and then I could hand it to somebody right next to me and say, okay, you play it. And it's likely to sound very different. So this is so subjective. It's so funny. We watch all these videos and man, I'm such an offender of this, right? I do this all the time, watching like guys like Adam Rappa and these really amazing players play. And it's, in the end, they'd be great on, it doesn't matter what you give them. They're going to sound amazing and they're going to sound their way. And if you like that, that's fine, but that doesn't mean you'll ever sound like that or be able to achieve that. So I guess in the end, you have to get to a point where you're happy and comfortable with whatever it is and however it is that you sound as a player. And, that's something I'm perpetually struggling with, even in the selection of horns, the selection of mouthpiece. I don't know. I think in the end, for me, I've really landed on this horn for whatever reason, this particular horn. And, I'm skeptical to say that if I were to have another one of these, I wonder if it would be the same experience or if it would be different. Perhaps this actual horn is the only one that's out there that I can play the way that I'm playing this. And frankly, I think that I'm a much better player on this. I don't know why. I don't know that it sounds better. So there's just a feeling about when I pick this instrument up, it feels like it was designed and, kind of like any Harry Potter fans out there, you go into the wand store and the wand picks you. I feel like this horn picked me, oddly enough. So this is my Harry Potter wand trumpet. Have you ever noticed that? But I try to play like D's and C sharps, a lot of the all valve type stuff a lot because this particular horn allows me to really use that slide pretty loosely. And I really like that a lot because those notes are hard to get in tune with your lips. So it's nice if you can throw these triggers out. And, this thing has a really nice, a very delicate first valve as well, which can be very useful. But I found it more comfortable for some reason. For me, I hold it with my finger above that ring. I don't know, can you see that? So instead of putting it, like it kind of moves your hand, like if if I do this, that is much more comfortable on my wrist than putting my finger in that ring. And since I don't really use this trigger or slide, I can just put it like that, and it's very comfortable for me because I got kind of a fat, I got a decent sized hand. So on some horns, it's really squished in here. And I've seen some people that hold their horn like this and some like that, and others. I guess it's whatever works for you, but in this case, what works for me is my thumb, instead of going in the ring, it just goes right there. I guess these are the things that over time, you see these players and they've got all their special ways of doing things, and frankly, there's nothing unique about it other than it works for that player. Same with the equipment, right? Like I happen to hold this trumpet in that way because it's most comfortable. There's no other reason that I'm doing it. It doesn't give me more finger dexterity. I'm not doing it to be cool or think I'm cool. It's just, it actually, because when I cock my wrist like this, if you see how my hand is, I'm just holding the trumpet up here so I don't drop it. You see the position of my wrist? If I move this finger, it makes my hand, it puts it in a different position. It's not sticking out, it's flat. So while it's flat like that, it's actually more comfortable to hold. It's not putting any pressure on my wrist at all. So I really like that. And that's why I hold this instrument this way. And it got me thinking, it's like, some of the early Bachs, and even I have like an old a Con, doesn't have the ring. And that's very comfortable on this horn too. This is a really cool trumpet. I like this whole thing. This is a real Frankenhorn. But oh, my stuff is so far away. This thing has such, I don't know, let's take this apart for a second. What do you think is making this bad boy have the fluffiest valves I've ever felt? That looks like a regular old, it's actually pretty tight. But man, this thing really, I don't know how to explain it. It has the fluffiest valves. Like they're just so, I don't know how to, they feel, I don't know, really light and fluffy. And as opposed to when I was playing that Con, it felt very much like I could feel the movement of the piston through the entire frame of the horn. Where this one, it just feels like they're floating on air all on their own. Even with the, this bad boy, which, this is an absolutely exquisite instrument. And, I'll tell you one thing, too. I don't know if you can see the difference here. If you look at, this is going to be hard to do without whacking stuff. If you look at this particular part, right, where that is, it's not really bent. It's kind of straight, is the point. And that could be why my finger doesn't feel comfortable in it. Where this one, you can see clearly, this thing is way more tipped over to the side. And in that case, it's extremely comfortable to put my thumb in there because it's angled more accurately. But again, anyway, we're talking about the valves. Like, these valves are like super precision. And everything on this thing is just, these things move. You see how quickly that thing is? They're just so smooth and slick. I've actually been playing the Lotus in this particular horn. I think it sounds really nice in this one. Man, it's just a beautiful horn. It's crazy how I really continue to prefer this used, I don't know, it's just crazy. But yeah, if I could fix one thing, I would definitely either take that off or have it kind of put down here a little bit more so that it was angled a little bit more significantly. Because by doing it this way, I need my thumb to go up for me to feel most comfortable. But I can just not use that. I don't care. And then it gives me this really nice kind of flinging of the mouthpiece. It really hugs this really nice. I like that a lot. That's where here, huh? That just goes to tell you, kids, put your mouthpiece into the instrument nice and snug. I don't know. I just feel like I can grab this thing and just without any warm up or anything, just play it really well. That's just such a fun little line to play.